Like I remember the first time I was playing against LeBron. It was a preseason game, and he was next to me at the free throw line, like just during a lockout, and I just kept looking like, that's LeBron James, like.
Welcome to another episode of Year One. It's your boy Mark Haynes with ClutchPoints, and today I have 2015 draftee, number 11 pick from the Indiana Pacers, Myles Turner. Myles, man, I appreciate you for jumping on with me. And how's your day going?
No worries, man. I could complain about a lot of things, but overall, I'm blessed, man. I'm having a solid day with solid people, so I got nothing to complain about.
Yes, sir, man. So what we do here, man, on Year One is we talk about your rookie season and see how good your memory is and things like that. So we want to start at the very beginning and talk about your draft night. I want to know, when you're in the green room and everything, what was going through your head at that time that you remember?
Mark, it's just a mix of emotions. I think that's the biggest thing that I experienced. I think I wouldn't be able to make it if I didn't have my family there. As someone who's maturing and someone who's trying to kind of grow into their own stature, having my family there is really what made the moment that much more special. You're happy, you're nervous, you're excited. There's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into it. I just remember that, me personally, I was told you're gonna be a top 5 pick. Then you slide to 11. It's like every number after that 5, you're just like you get more and more nervous, more and more antsy in a sense. But once I finally heard my name called, all that went out the window. It's almost people talk about how they black out, don't remember walking through on the stage. I had a little moment like that. I was thinking in my head, just don't trip over these stairs. So once I actually made it up there, it was all worth it.
And you said, yeah, so you were supposed to go a little higher than you did. As you seen names coming off the board, was it frustrating, or was it kind of more of just, you or did you feel like you should have been up there?
I felt like I should have been up there, but a lot of the best I was, coming into the draft was telling me is it doesn't matter where you get drafted. Obviously money's involved and maybe this endorsement here and there, but as long as you go out there and play, everything else, your game will speak for itself. So at the time, I just nervous because I was slipping. I know where I was going to slip to in a sense. And you hear all the stories about that kind of stuff, but I wasn't necessarily pressed about it because I knew that I was going to be a lottery pick. I knew that I was in a good position. I knew how hard I had worked in the pre-draft process and what I've done during the workout. So I wasn't necessarily too pressed.
And I don't know if you ever went and checked out, like, when the videos of what the media or announcers said, during, you being picked. Do you remember any things that was said about you?
Yeah, most definitely. I think the biggest thing I remembered was, I think it might have been CBS Sports. They wrote an article about how they were grading everybody's draft. They get a case of D- for picking me. And
Wow.
like that stuck with me. I was like, D-, huh? Okay, that's a bet. Like, you remember stuff like that. And I think I remember during the draft, I watched a recording of it. I think it was like Jay Billis and like a couple guys. They were just surprised, quote unquote, that they took me. All they were talking about was, I thought the Pacers were going to take a guard. I thought the Pacers were going to take a guard. It wasn't like, this is what Myles Turner brings to the table. It was like, he blocked some shots here and there, and he shot a couple threes in college, but he's got a lot of work to do. So I was like, it was whatever. I wasn't really too concerned about it. I got drafted. My family was secure, and I had figured everything out that I was supposed to figure out. So everybody's going to talk regardless.
Yeah. Did you use it as a little bit of a chip on your shoulder?
Oh yeah, every team that passed me, I made like a focal point that season, and even the following season to go at those certain teams. And it's cliche. You hear a lot about teams doing that or people doing that, but that's one thing that I did take personally. Like teams that told me like the draft, I said, "Hey, we're going to take you," and they ultimately flaked at the end. I was like, all right, it gives me something to play for. Like
Right.
I need any more motivation.
That's what's up. Then let's get on to the court. Do you remember your first NBA bucket?
I do. I just checked into the game. I think it was either towards the end of the first quarter, beginning of the second. Monte Ellis had a driving layup to the left. He missed it, and I came in and had a tip dunk. So like that was my first exclamation mark in the league. Is my first 2 points in the NBA was off a tip dunk, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah. How cool was that for you to get, your first, it was a highlight. It wasn't even just a basket. A lot of people, it may be a free throw or just a tip, but you got a tip dunk kind of on somebody too.
Yeah, it was. It was against the Memphis Grizzlies. I think it was Beno Udrih actually who was on, but it was at home. It was like at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. So that's one thing that made it that more special because the fans were super into it as well. It was an early game, um, and then my family was there as well. Obviously too. So they were right there to experience it. I knew exactly where my family was sitting, so I was able to look over at them, and they were all going crazy over there in the stands. So that was a pretty cool moment for me. Unforgettable at that.
And then coming in, so you left college after your freshman year, to join the NBA. So you're 19 years old at that time. 2-3 years before then, you're out the NBA. You're in high school, and you have a favorite player in the NBA. Who was your favorite player at that time?
Well, at that time, I was still kind of on the Dirk train. Being here in Dallas, he just won that championship. He had that incredible, playoff run where what he beat the Lakers and Kobe, he beat the Big Three in OKC. Then he obviously beat LeBron James and company in the finals. That was like an incredible moment for me to watch somebody his stature be able to, move how he will kind of move how he wanted to move and play how he wanted to play. And the second guy was definitely Kevin Durant, just because of what he was doing at his position, at his height, was something that was just transcendent. And every big in high school wanted to be a guard, so watching somebody else actually go out there and do it and walk the walk was it was motivational in a sense. So yeah, he's also a Texas guy too, so that kind of made it dope.
Well, what was it like to play against those guys, get the chance to?
It's one of those things where you're in shock at first. Like I remember the first time I was playing against LeBron. It was a preseason game, and he was next to me at the free throw line, like just during a blockout, and I just kept looking like, oh, that's LeBron James, like that's really him, you know what I mean? But then you snap out of like, oh, I'm trying to win this game. You snap out of it real quick. You know, a lot of guys have this, oh no, I'm trying to go at all my rivals and all my idols, and yeah, you are. But when you first see them in person, like there's a little moment where you're just like, oh, that's really him. You know what I mean? But then you snap out of it and you keep it rolling.
And then speaking of LeBron, man, that year, your rookie season, you had one of your biggest blocks against LeBron. Tell me about that moment.
Yeah, that was really cool for me personally because I hadn't really, being in Indiana is it's one of the smaller markets. We're not really in the media as much, so I see a lot of the other rookies are having good seasons in a sense, and everything they're doing is getting put out there. This is that. That was like my first like quote unquote viral moment. That's when I had everybody back home hit me up like, "Yo, that just happened," and yada yada. And had a lot of eyes and attention on me at the time. And when you're first coming to the league, like you kind of crave that in a sense. You kind of crave that attention. You want to be known. So it was one of those things that kind of put me on the map. You just ascend from there. But just the actual moment itself, like, I knew I was going to end up on Sports Center one way or the other. I was going to block it or I was going to be dunked on. So there's a certain fearlessness that you have to have, on the defensive side of things. I'm a shot blocker, and it's one of the things I've always done. So I just went after it, just let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, and I remember just like you said or whatever. It was like I knew of you at that time. I knew just like of all the top rookies. But when that happened, it was like, damn, this dude just did that to bro. It was like, so now everybody had to pay attention to you. Did you at that moment, did you feel that everybody kind of started taking you seriously as a defender and a shot blocker?
No, when you're a rookie, it's one of the things that if you see a rookie on the floor, you go at him every time. Like it's just one of the unwritten rules. So I think teams were still trying me, and especially a rookie, you get in foul trouble very, very quickly. I think it's one of the unsung things that refs, if you're a veteran in the league, you get more favorable calls. Whereas you're a rookie, you don't get as many calls coming in. Like they'll say it's not true, they'll say this is this and that, but it's just one of the things that like, it's a rite of passage. You have to earn these calls. You have to earn your way in this league in a sense. So I think that, I got a lot of foul trouble. Teams were going at me, but I was still blocking shots. Like I think they knew that, hey, he's a shot blocker, but you can try him. Now it's obviously completely different. I'm one of the best shot blockers in the game. It doesn't really work that way.
And as a rookie, coming into the league, obviously you set some goals for yourself. Do you remember any of the goals that you set, and have you reached a few of them yet?
Well, he's talking about for my career, just my rookie year.
For your career, yeah, like
For
when
my
you was a
career as a
rookie
whole.
looking for it, yeah.
I mean, not necessarily. I think in my rookie year, I kind of did everything I set out to do. You know, I wanted to be a starter. Did that halfway through the season. I wanted to at least average 10 points a game. Did that. I wanted to get to the playoffs and actually claim the playoffs. You know, I did that. So rookie year, I accomplished all that. As far as my career is concerned, there's plenty of lofty goals I haven't reached yet. You know, still want to be defensive player of the year. Still want to make one of all defensive teams. Still want to be an all-star. Still got to get past the first round of the playoffs. There's a lot of stuff that I haven't done yet that I want to see for myself. See what I want to make happen for myself. So no, I'm definitely still dream chasing in a sense.
And it's kind of a current question or whatever, but like like you mentioned defensive player and making the defensive team, do you feel that you've kind of been overlooked in that you should have been in? Because you led the league in blocks with twice. You know, you're like you say, you're one of the best defenders in the league. Do you feel like you just don't get the acknowledgement?
Undoubtedly, I think it's one of the things that, you know, even if it's not defensive player of the year, it's like at least an all defensive team with what I've done. You know, people talk about, oh, well, you just block shots. Well, it's couldn't be further from the truth. You know, I'm one of the better pick and roll defenders in the game, and I guard the perimeter. Like I guard guards out to the perimeter as well. Like teams don't make it a focal point to switch on me. You know, trying to pick on somebody else. There's no I can move my feet, and if not, I can block shots and recover. And you know what, I at least average a steal a game. Like there's more stuff that I'm doing that doesn't get the acknowledgement that it gets, or you wouldn't be understand if you've never watched me play. And that's the problem. When you have these media members, they see all these ESPN games and they see all these TNT games. Indiana Pacers aren't on ESPN and TNT. We maybe get 2, maybe 3 games a year on national TV. So they never see me play. They only see, you know, the box score. Yeah. You don't get the advanced stats. You don't get to see, you know, this just defensive talent play every night. You only get to hear word of mouth. Only get to see 1 or 2 games a year.
Right. And that's another thing. Like a lot of, you know, with the media members, you know, if you're a beat writer, you're stuck on one team. So you're not really focusing on the rest of the league. You know,
well, and that's the thing about the Midwest too. There's not any voters in our market. There's 0 voters in the Indiana market. Like I think maybe the closest one is somebody in Chicago, possibly. But like in the whole little Midwest region, there's no voters. So nobody gets to see me play.
I didn't know that. So when you're a big man who can shoot the three, you can put the ball on the floor. You can do a lot of things that you don't get credit for. Where did the guard skills and shooting skills come from? And taking it back to college, how, you know, did your college coach just tell you had the green light to display that?
No, that was all my father. You know, my father's the one who implemented all that to me when I was very young. He made me stay after practice and, you know, work on all the ball handling stuff and, you know, work on my shot and just perfect my craft. And I hated it at the time because I was like, why am I doing this? I'm a big man. I don't need to be out here dribbling and doing what all the little guards are doing. Like I knew I could shoot, so I was like, I don't have to put in all these extra work on my shot. I already know I can shoot. But he's one to kind of instill that mindset in me. And then once I got to college, it was actually the complete opposite. It was, you know, you need to be in the post. You need to, you know, shoot a turnaround over your right shoulder or maybe a jump hook here and there. And very seldomly, like I would venture out to a 3-point land. That was one of the things that I really just said F it and do threes up. You know, I wasn't necessarily given like the green light to shoot threes. I did here and there. But I never stopped working on my ball skills. So especially in the pre-draft process, I got a lot better just with my consistency on my shot and then really my ball handling. So, you know, I even think in all honesty, I haven't even put my whole arsenal on display in a sense, you know, as far as what I can do offensively. You know, I feel like I've been in a role these past 2-3 years that's allowed me to go out there and, you know, flourish what I know I can do best. So there's a lot of my bag, a lot of my bag of tricks I can get to, but you know, the best is yet to be shown.
Yes, sir. And then 2 more questions, and I'm gonna get you out of here. Do you remember what you felt like was your welcome to the NBA moment?
Yeah, bro. I do. Like it was yesterday. I had just put up my career high in Golden State, and I'm feeling really good about myself because these are like the Warriors. This is like before they had Kevin Durant. It's like the Dynasty Warriors, and like they had they're coming off a championship. This is the season that they went 70. Yeah, they went, what was it, 73-9?
Nah, yeah.
Yeah. That's the season that they had that really historic, season or whatever. And I put 31 against them, and I'm thinking like, man, I just did that. Like I'm that dude. And the very next night we go to Sacramento to play, and I'm playing against prime DeMarcus Cousins. And this is the Boogie that was in the post,
Yeah.
The Boogie that people are accustomed to now, the one is, him shooting threes and doing the handles. Nah, he was just straight, like, he was doing that a little bit, but he was straight post, like DeMarcus Cousins at that point. And bro was just abusing me. I think he probably put up like 45, maybe. It might have even been a 50-point game, but there was just nothing I could do. There was not one thing I could do to stop him. Like, I couldn't, like, you can't talk noise to him trying to get up in the skin, because that's like what he's a master of,
Yeah.
And then he's getting all the calls. Every single big is in foul trouble. Like, it was me and like 3 other bigs trying to contain him. And, you go from the high of, scoring career high to low of like just getting absolutely like dominated in this sense. And I legitimately went to coach one of the time. I said, yo, I don't know what to do. That was like my welcome to the league moment, because I just didn't know. That was the first time I could say, like, in the league, I said, like, I legitimately didn't know what to do.
That's funny. And then, so, back when you was a rookie, things was normal. So we didn't have to wear masks and things like that. Do you remember if you had any like rookie hazing duties in that season?
Bro, like, I didn't get hazed or like bullied or anything like that. I just spent a lot of money. I think that's what it was, and I didn't get reimbursed like with the money that I spent. Like, the guys like had specific meals they wanted like on the road. Like, I remember like one of the guys like loved Ruth Chris, so we're on the road, and I gotta go to Ruth Chris. Like, I'm a rookie and I'm a lottery pick, so I have money, but I don't got long money like that yet. I'm not getting all this. So when I'm paying $500, $600 every road trip for a meal, and this is what he would say every time. I'm not gonna say who it was. It was funny. He was just every time. He said, "God gonna bless you. Just catch it rolling." Like, God gonna bless me. Like, you bless me. Like, what you talking about? So I said, like, I didn't necessarily get like bullied or anything like that, or like mistreated. It was one of the things where I spent a lot of money and like I didn't get the money back, and that to me was bullying. It's like, bro, like I'm not gonna get this bread back. Like, this is a lot, But I also had like a couple of vets that really looked out for me as well. So it kind of was just like, it was one of those up and down kind of things.
And I lied. I said 2 questions. One more, because you brought up money. What do you remember being your worst purchase that you did in your rookie season?
Oh, my worst purchase? That's a good question. I mean, I didn't really splurge like that my rookie year. I think maybe that's a good question. Oh, I had bought something for this girl. There we go. Now we're talking. I remember this specifically. I had bought this giant teddy bear for this girl for Valentine's Day. And then we were already kind of on the laughs of like not like talking anymore, because this is a girl like I knew back in college. And like, I was talking to her in college when I went to the league. Things changed a little bit. She was still in college. I was doing my thing. It was Valentine's Day, and I was like, it was like my last like little ditch effort to try and like keep her around type of thing. Not knowing that at the time, like I didn't have to do that. Like, I'm the one in the position of power in a sense, but I'm young and I'm lover boy stuff. So I bought her this giant teddy bear for Valentine's Day, and then like, man, it was expensive. It was probably like, it was like an 8-foot teddy bear, so it had to be like, it could have been like close to $1,000 maybe. And I buy it for her. We probably ended up, I think we stopped talking like a week after that. And like, we just never talked again. So it was one of those like impulse things where it was like, okay, if I buy this for her, maybe it'll make things better. And it just never ended up working out that way. So
you didn't end up stuck with the teddy bear, did you?
Nah, Lord knows where that thing is at now.
All right, Myles, man. Hey, I appreciate you for jumping on with me real quick, giving me a little time out your day. If you got anything going on, I don't know, we're in COVID season, but if you got any events or anything, if you want to just put out your Twitter, Instagram handle, the floor is yours.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Follow your boy on on the gram, Turner_Myles. I'm on Twitter, original_Turner. Keep up with me this year. Y'all gonna see something, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Looking forward to. And I'm Mark Hayes, your host, Clutch Points, year one, and we checking out.